Hello, hi everyone, and welcome to another aec+tech talk. My name is Niknaz, and I'm very excited to be your host today. These talks are organized by aec+tech. aec+tech is a platform and a data-driven database and community of the latest and greatest tools and technologies in the AEC space. So a couple of months ago, we had a wonderful, exciting company based in India called Vavetek AI that joined our platform, and they created pages for some very exciting tools and products, including BAMROC, which we are going to discuss today. And I'm very excited to welcome three members of these companies. I'm going to briefly introduce you and then let you talk more about yourself. We have Nitin Gupta, CEO and founder at Vavetek, Anuj Gupta, COO, and Vimal Yadav, product leader. Thank you so much, guys, for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, Niknaz.
Of course, I know it's pretty late. Thank you for accommodating our US time zone. So yeah, I would love to hear more about, tell us about yourself and your background and how you ended up building what you are building.
Okay, great. So, Niknaz, I'll take the lead from Vavetek side. Thank you so much for the introduction. Just to repeat, I am Nitin Gupta. I am an architect by education and profession till now. So, for almost 33 years, I have been in the field of architecture and have led one of the largest companies in Asia in providing comprehensive architectural services till now. And around an year back is when our journey started into exploring how AI and software can change the construction technology, especially relating to my core field area that has been the design part of it. So that is where our journey began. With me, I have my two co-founders, Vimal Yadav. Vimal is our senior software engineer, and he is the product leader for the first software that we have developed called BAMROC. And I have Anuj Gupta, who is also a software developer, and Anuj is our chief operating officer. Anuj is the product leader for something that is still in a concept stage, that is software and AI co-pilot to optimize the structure design. So core area that we are operating in the AEC world is actually the engineering design part of it. That is the core area that we are operating in. Vimal, why so Niknaz, I think we would love to show a live demo
Sure.
of the software that we've developed. I would say that it will be a good idea that we can focus on the demo of the software, and then I'm sure we'll have some time left. Then probably I'll introduce about the larger problem and generally what we are doing as a part of the startup and the company. Would that
Yes.
be good?
Yes, yeah, please do that. That sounds great. This like clash detection category and area is really one of my favorite ones. I mean, I know that it's not necessarily the most exciting part of the workflow and what architects and engineers do, but in reality, so we do the design and like as an architect, you get so excited about the design, but then you have to the what we call here construction documentation phase takes 80% of your time, and then all these coordinations, and now using AI as a co-pilot for this MEP clash detection and structural clash detection, it just sounds super fascinating and exciting to me. So I would love to learn more about how you are doing it, like
Sure.
practical.
So, Vimal, go ahead. Meanwhile, I'll just give a quick intro. As you rightly said, Niknaz, the problem that we are trying to solve is of the starting from clash detection. We are still starting from the point where the industry is doing clash detection, and through our software, BAMROC, we are able to automatically remove the clashes. So that is the magic that is happening here, that we have been able to automatically resolve and remove the clashes. So detection has been going on in the industry for last 10 years. However, we are able to act upon the detected clashes and we are able to actually remove them. So Vimal, go ahead. I think let's give a demo of the BAMROC software. Meanwhile, so Vimal, just tell me when you are ready here. I'll keep discussing otherwise.
I think we
Okay,
can start the demo now. I have everything ready with me,
go
Perfect.
ahead.
right?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'll jump into it. So basically, right now we have a structure file here, and what I've done here is I have linked all the MEP files. So I have my electrical, mechanical, and plumbing file with me, all of them linked together, right? So basically, before running BAMROC, first I want to detect clashes. So I have already taken a Navis export of this. So I'll be simply using Navisworks to detect those clashes. So let me simply append these files, which would be here. Okay. So this TP01 file represents the before situation of the model. And so right now we have all the MEP here. What I'll be doing is I'll be running a simple MEP versus MEP clash test. And okay, great. So we have about 63 clashes in this particular model. Now the next step is to create a report of these clashes, and then we'll be running BAMROC. So we have our own plugin here within Navisworks, and this BAMROC clash file is going to create that report for me. Okay, so I'll replace this existing file. Okay, great. So we have generated the clash test. We have generated the report as well. We can head back to Revit and run BAMROC. Now, first of all, I need to check off this section box. Now, this is important to run BAMROC. Also, this is helpful in running a particular portion of the project. So using BAMROC, you can resolve clashes floor by floor, tower by tower, or just in the corridor also, right? All you have to do is just adjust the section box and BAMROC will take care of the rest. So now I'll simply click this Run BAMROC button. So there are some guidelines. I'll quickly jump through them. So first is that I need to link all the files. So as you saw earlier, I had opened the structure file and linked all the others. So if I have an architecture file and interior design file, I need to link those as well, right? So that the software has the right context of where exactly the boundaries are, boundaries of the false ceiling, of the floor slab, or just the walls, right? Now, second point is regarding those projects where you might not have a false ceiling. So, such as basement car parkings or office spaces also where you might not have a false ceiling. What we recommend is you simply draw a reference false ceiling at the minimum clear height so that BAMROC knows that this is the final limit where the MEP can go, right? Now, third and fourth point are just an extension of this. What BAMROC is doing, it's resolving clashes in the false ceiling area. So we want our MEP systems to be within the floor slab, within the false ceiling, and the external boundary walls. Now, fifth point, very important. We see across the industry in all the projects, engineers will model out these MEP systems, but would not connect the elements properly. Now that creates a problem since then BAMROC is understanding a single system as multiple system, right? And then it cannot adjust those systems properly, right? It might go haywire, right? Now, I would like to mention here that right now, BAMROC has been made to handle majority of the projects that are happening in the world, but there are some boutique projects with special geometry which BAMROC cannot handle at the moment, right? So that's a limitation. Something like buildings by Zaha Hadid are some of those. So anyway, we'll proceed now. And okay, so this is a health check. I'll come back to this later. I'll close this. And now I get to choose these, from these two strategies. So move and bend. So as the naming suggests, move is going to move the elements and bend is going to bend the elements or systems to resolve the clashes, right? Um, Also, I would like to mention here that BAMROC fundamentally does not create new clashes. Um, you can use either of these strategies or algorithms. For now, I'll go ahead with move. Okay, so it's asking me, is the project north-south aligned? Yes, it is. So if it is not north-south aligned, you can simply rotate your section box and it will just work fine. Now I can choose the performance mode for this project. Now this is a simple project, not a lot of density in the clashes, but if you have a lot of congestion in the MEP systems, you can use the high mode to resolve even more clashes. Right? It thinks almost 10 steps ahead of the medium performance. Let me just hit submit. And right now it is basically collecting the geometrical, mathematical information from the modules. So it's collecting all the information. It's collecting the geometry of your walls, of your fall ceiling, of your MEP systems, everything, right? So this shouldn't take long, almost done. I'll go ahead. Okay, so we have 4 Revit files here, but BAMROC can handle almost 20 or 25 of Revit files. If your own machine can load these files, you can link them. It's perfectly fine for us. Okay, now I need to upload the clash file. So this is the same clash file that we generated earlier. I'll click yes. And let's actually take a look at this also. So you can see this clash file is nothing fancy, but just element IDs of the clashing elements. I'll simply open this. Okay, so this is a small project, 4,000 elements, but we have worked with hundreds of thousands of elements also. So size of the project is not a problem. Okay, so I think tokens we can come to later on. Okay, so now here's the magic is happening in the cloud. So all these clashes are getting processed on the cloud, and BAMROC will one by one will generate some predictions for all of these clashes, and it will download a prediction file in my downloads folder. So for this project, it's almost ready. For much larger thousands of clashes, it could take 20 to 30 minutes or so. Okay, this is also fine. Now, this is an interesting part. Till now, my model has not really changed. I have only generated predictions from BAMROC, right? Now, the next step is to make the changes in the MEP files. And for that, I'm going to automatically, BAMROC implement these. But if we are working with BIM 360 or ACC, what I need to do is I need to use these two implement prediction buttons that you see on the top, right? So now this could take a couple of minutes. So I think we can take some questions as well.
So Vimal, why don't you, rather go over the regular frequently asked questions?
Sure.
From your memory, we can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, can I actually ask one before you do that? So now that it's processing in the background, are we also
Yes.
able to see like visually all the clashes? I think we will, right? After it's done.
Oh, yes. So we will be We will be actually generating a visual report after all the predictions are implemented.
Got
I
it.
have the final resolutions, and I can actually see. So we have developed a tool which can generate a visual report for you, and you can actually go clash by clash, see how it looked earlier, before BAMROC, and how BAMROC has resolved it. So
Yeah.
we'll do that also.
So,
Okay.
Niknaz, there is an interesting story behind this. When we initially developed the algorithm, this was a very, regular anxiety that what is the software doing, right? So,
Yeah.
in fact, what we used to do was that we used to go clash by clash, element by element, and
Yeah.
literally go into Revit and see what the software did to resolve the clashes. So then
Yeah.
we finally said, why don't we make a tool out of it? It will be a regular anxiety, and that is when we came up with this. It's a regular Navis tool, which is able to show the before after. So any
Oh,
modeler can, just see, even it can be used as a validation tool, even for manual resolution. So it is just a compilation of what was before the clashes were resolved, and what do you see after that.
okay, great. Yeah, because there's always this fear of losing control, as an architect engineer, like the what if so you want
Absolutely.
to be able to like still see it. I mean, it's so good that you can track. So AI is helping you fixing all this, but you can still visually see like what has been done and track it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, you see, also the interesting part to share with you is that the AI technology that has been used for BAMROC is logic based, rule based. So, for that reason, we are not looking at any percentage of hallucination at all. It is all fundamentally mathematical. So here, if you give a problem X to it, and the result is Y, the result will always be Y if you are feeding an X problem. So
Yeah.
that is what is helping us give it more and more accuracy as we are working with our customers and doing all the levels of beta testing.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah,
Great.
that has been the core mathematics behind it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for clarifying. So we have a question from Jason Howden. Hi, Jason. Thanks for the question. Jason is the CIO at Revisto. So Jason is asking, are you exploring other technologies that also perform clash detection analysis on 3D models, including models outside of Revit?
So, Jason, presently we are focused on Revit only, primarily for the reason that we have not yet got a beta testing partner who is willing to work with us on the other, 3D softwares. However, to share with you, as I mentioned earlier, the whole AI technology is logic based, rule based, mathematical. So by all logic, it should work and it would work on any platform.
Perfect. Yeah, you guys should partner, Revisto and Vavetek.
Ah, that's right. So
Yeah.
Revisto is a great software. I think very, very popular these days. So congratulations to you, Jason.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, awesome, great. So
Okay,
we
Vimal,
will
go ahead. Yeah.
continue with the
Right. So basically, the clashes are now resolved. We have the revised Revit files. So if I go to manage, now you can see I had these before files. These had clashes. Now what I'll do is I'll simply unload these. Now these three processed ones, they are clash free, right? Now I'm going to take them to Navisworks and we are going to see it live how many of those clashes are now resolved, and we'll also check them subjectively, right? So let me quickly export my Navis. Okay, so I'll take cable trays, I'll take my duct accessories, fittings, mechanical equipments, we'll take the pipes. So although in this demo we are only showing MEP versus MEP clashes, BAMROC can resolve MEP versus structure clashes also. So that is also supported. Let me give it some name. So let me do TP02 movement. Okay. Since this is a smaller model, it shouldn't take long. Yes.
So something very, very fundamental uh, is no new clashes. That has been the mantra from the beginning. And believe me, we are still facing a challenge. We still keep getting surprises. However, with more and more tuning, improvement, development, we have been able to bring down the number and the percentage of new clashes to virtually zero. However, we also have learned that the whole industry around the world, regions work with their own level of, standards, the BIM standards, as you may call it. So, there are challenges that keep coming for the software. Okay, Vimal, go ahead.
Right. So we have the Navis file of the resolved model. And again, I'll be running a simple MEP versus MEP clash test, just like earlier. And great. So we are left with only 4 clashes now. Now, what I want to see is how those clashes got resolved, right? So what I'll do is I'll be creating a visual report. So I'll get my before file from there. Okay, so we'll get the TP01 file. So let me also rename this class test as TP02 and this one as TP01. Okay, so 63324. Now we'll run this software CRDR BIM. So this is basically clash resolution diagnostic report. So this will ask me for a location. So let me select that. Okay, great. So we'll go ahead with default settings. So we'll check for new clashes. We'll also include pictures. Now, for these many clashes, within 15-20 seconds, we should have the report ready with us. For 1,000 clashes or something, it could take 5 to 10 minutes to generate. So it's
Wow,
basically clicking pictures right now.
that saves a lot of time. So in 10 minutes, it detects the clashes and also fix them.
Uh, Not fix them. What I meant was you can generate the report within 10 minutes for thousands of
Oh,
clashes.
I see.
Now, this is for this tool, but with BAMROC, you can actually resolve 500 or maybe even 1,000 clashes within an hour or two.
Wow.
Right?
So
So,
within an hour.
Niknaz, yeah, sorry, I interrupted you. On the average, we have seen that for large projects, we are able to, we are around 10 times to 11 times faster than
Okay.
the manual methods, of resolving clashes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was just gonna ask that, comparing. So how long would it take a team of like, I don't know, maybe just one person take care of this manually? So at least a week, I guess, right? To go
So
through.
average of the industry is that a modeler or a coordinator is able to solve 60 to 75 clashes per day.
Oh wow, okay.
That
And
is the average. It's a very painful process. It requires a lot of back and forth. So as you saw, we were able to solve these 63 clashes in, we've just spent around 15 minutes running this program. But I would say Vimal had made some setups earlier. So those setups require another 15 to 20 minutes. Then, give it another 15 minutes to understand the project, and then, finally to validate it, all the resolution. And then some of the clashes that are left, four new clashes that we are seeing. So overall, I would say this project end to end would not take more than 50 minutes. So that's what it is. Something that required a day to solve, we are able to solve it in 1 hour. This is the kind of efficiency that you are looking at.
That's amazing. That's very impressive. And then fixing the fixing the clashes, you also take into account the structural design as well, right? You make sure that these docks are not interfering with the structural system.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, uh, the entire structure of the building, the false ceiling, that is being provided by the interior designer.
Yeah.
Even the elements of the false ceiling, which are coordinated, like the air distribution grill, sprinklers,
Mhm.
all of these elements are considered frozen. So the software does not touch them at all. And in fact, in the process of resolving the MEP versus MEP clashes and the MEP versus structure clashes, we make sure that the mathematical algorithm ensures that there are no new clashes between any of the disciplines. So much so that, in fact, the gravity pipes, the drainage pipes, which are always running at a slope, they are also considered as frozen. So, any service, if there is a clash between a duct and a gravity pipe, it is the duct that will move, the gravity pipe would be considered as frozen. So, these are some of the rules that have been inbuilt into the software. And the software, because of its mathematical nature, just follows it to the T.
Wonderful.
So,
That's awesome.
Vimal, why don't
Right.
you show some of the resolutions?
Definitely. So as you can see at the summary at the top, 63 clashes are resolved. Now, a lot of cases, might not be resolved. Now, if I can also, check them as approved if they are. Now, let me actually go through one of the resolutions and show you how it's done. So in this report, I can actually hit this navigate button and it takes me directly to the model, right? So what I can do is I can hide my resolved model and see how it looked, before. So let me check off this also. So these red dots you see, these were the clashes earlier. This pipe was almost inside the duct, and these two ducts are also clashing, right? And there are some more clashes over here, right? Now let's check what has happened after we have run BAMROC. Okay, so basically I switched and now we are seeing the resolved model. The clashes are now resolved, and as you can see, the design has not changed fundamentally. The design stays the same, right? So uh, I would say that is one of the wonderful things about BAMROC, that it does not change your design. You are the owner of the design. BAMROC is only resolving clashes by making very minimal changes in the model. So
Absolutely.
this
So
is very
this is the, yeah. Sorry,
S-
please.
I was just wondering about the code compliance because codes are all different, all over the world. So how does that work as far as like the dimensions and the, duct and slope and all that? So how do you take that?
Okay, so yeah, great question, Niknaz. So what we are trying to do, fundamentally, what we are trying to do is make the rules as modular and as flexible as we can. So rather than making it customized for different codes. We are trying to build in features that can let the customer sort of create their own settings.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you want a maintenance gap between two different kind of services, a lot of times we hear, and as an architect, I have experienced myself that, let's say, a cable tray. Cable tray is is an element that requires maintenance. So a cable tray, between a cable tray and any other service, you should have a gap of 300 mm. That is the ideal gap. So you can specify this. We have a feature in the software which allows you to specify the clearance around the element, both in the horizontal direction and the vertical direction. So that is a setting that the modeler or the BIM coordination team or the MEP coordinator can do, and that can be done, region wise, whatever settings that they want to go. And again, the software will follow that. So this is just an example. There are many more rules that are built in and can be built in. So that is the whole idea, that tomorrow, if we were to have a customer who says, I always want that the electrical cable trays should run above the water supply pipes, so we can build that as a rule. Right now we have not, because we don't see that as a regimental rule being followed everywhere. However, if a customer wants that, as a standard for their own company, sure, that can be built into the software, and software again will keep on following that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. So, Kayvan Askari is asking a question. What file formats are accepted? Sorry, I joined a bit late. I very likely missed that part. Thanks for the question, Kayvan. So, what file formats are you
Vimal,
supporting?
would you like to answer that?
Right. So right now we only support Revit files. So that would be .rvt. In future, we do look forward to support IFC formats also. However, till now we haven't got a lot of demand for that. Most of the industry is, revolving around Revit and Revit, Navisworks, and all the other tools.
Got
So yes.
Right, right. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we are more than willing, if we could have a partner who's willing to work with us on any other format. We are more than willing to tune the software. It is very easy. It can be tuned to any kind of input file, I would say.
Got it. Great. So, Rajesh Bura is asking, does BAMROC understand the access requirements while resolving the clashes?
Okay, Rajesh. Yes, it can, and this is something that I talked about earlier also. That cable tray as an example. So you want additional access from the side of the cable tray to be able to access the cables or the conduits. You can define the vertical gap that you want to maintain while resolving the clashes between the cable tray and any other service on top. So this is something that I would say we are again trying to be as modular as possible. Rather than specifying from our side, we rather let the customer do those settings. And well, I would say there is another level of access that is sometimes discussed, because if you have one service over the other, then it does become difficult in terms of the hangers and the how to access the services above. So I think there is a level of pre-coordination, if done, that always helps. However, we are working on a prioritization. So, in case if there is a choice that the coordinator can specify that if there is a clash between a duct and a thin pipe, then it is the thin pipe that should always bend or move. So this is also something that can be specified. However, as Vimal showed in this present clash, it was a decision prioritization that minimum change, maximum impact. So by doing
Right.
minimum change to the model, if you can remove maximum number of clashes, that is the option that BAMROC picks up automatically. That is how presently the software is structured.
Amazing. Thanks for clarifying. So, who are you right now working with as far as people who are testing, companies that are testing and piloting the product? So, are they mostly engineers? What size of company? What location? Is there like a geography? Um, so, tell us more about your customers, and also for our audience, if they want to get in touch with you and if they want to test the product, how do they do that? Do they go to your website? Do you offer a free trial?
Sure. So, Niknaz, at this moment, maybe we can just show our PPT. Vimal, why don't you go straight onto that world map that shows our present, outreach?
Yeah,
That'll probably be a good way. Uh,
that'd be great.
yeah.
Okay. I'll have to switch my screen.
Yeah,
Just
I
give me a
think we
moment.
we are we are done with the demo. You know, yeah, play it, Vimal. Meanwhile, I'll just keep talking in the background.
Yeah.
So Niknaz, we we started reaching out, I would say, to potential customers for beta testing.
Mhm.
Uh, back in April last year, and we beta tested the software for around 5 months, and that is when we launched it formally for the customers. So we have sold couple of licenses in Saudi Arabia,
It's awesome.
and the what we are observing is that the maximum traction that we are getting for the software is in the Middle East. So, Middle East, especially Dubai and Saudi Arabia, let me say UAE and Saudi Arabia. Yeah, this is the world map. So this really shows the present situation. On the world map, you can see those dots, which are really logos of different companies. So we've reached out to all of these companies. We've given demo to all of them. You can see these are some of the largest companies, but yes, mostly the engineering design companies. There are also turnkey contractors who do the clash resolution as a part of their scope. So they are also in touch with us. I would say the software actively has been used till now by most, I would say our beta testing partners. However, the customers whom a couple of customers whom we have sold, they are using it very actively. And then we are looking ahead to a paid pilot with some of these large, engineering consultancy companies. So as of now, the information is confidential. So,
Mhm.
but very soon, I think once we are doing the paid pilots, we'll be able to take their permission to, name
Amazing.
them. Yeah, but
Congratulations. This,
it is.
this this is very impressive. These companies, some of them are global companies like Whirlpool, Atkins Realis. These are like global leaders in the space. So it's very impressive that they've been testing and piloting your product.
Thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
Vimal, why don't you just swipe through the slides and I can just go on explaining and probably give a very quick overview.
Sure.
Sure.
Right. So this
Let
is a bit
me.
about myself. As I explained, I'm founder and CEO. I'm an architect, a building technologist, and by I would say inherently I've been a cost optimizer for my clients. On the right side are some of the mega projects that I have actually got built, designed, and got built. And I hold two technology patents along with my wife, who is a mathematics and AI professor. Okay, Vimal, I think we can move on. This is our team. Co-founders Anuj Kumar Gupta and Vimal Yadav are on the call. Then, I have Deepak Jain, who is in Dallas. Deepak is a very successful entrepreneur, a tech entrepreneur. He is our part-time CSO. And then we have two very senior advisors in India, Kalyan Vaidyanathan, who is himself been an entrepreneur, created software and sold it successfully. Then Dr. Pratima Rani Bose is our structure design principal domain expert, primarily working with Anuj for the AI co-pilot for the optimization of the structure design. Then we have Harsh Prakash, who is really Vimal's right hand, working on in depth into the software development of BAMROC. And Sagar is our, marketing officer. Sagar works with me on all the marketing campaigns. Okay, Vimal. So the fundamental mission that we have is to optimize design. If I, in a nutshell, that is what I would say. The problem is that the developers and the turnkey contractors today are wasting trillions of dollars due to the unoptimized and inaccurate engineering design done by the principal engineers. And unfortunately, the methods to audit and optimize those designs are largely manual and very slow. So they have to bite the bullet. Projects do go into excessive increase in costing. This is our problem fundamentally. So how we are intending to solve it is by creating AI co-pilots which can audit and optimize the design at a super fast speed. So if you are able to do it, then you can find the wastage and then you can go back, redesign, suggest options, and that is the trick. So this is the larger vision. Bamrock also falls in this vision, primarily out of my own personal experience. The problem of MEP clashes is so painful and so difficult to remove manually that architects like me, we just tend to overprovide. We design fatter building shafts, we would provide more area in the false ceiling, so that this problem is mitigated. However, with Bamrock, you can do this exercise of clash removal so fast that you can go on further to optimize the space. That is the real intent, that you make the whole process so smooth and fast that you can optimize. You can keep doing this exercise, keep iterating, and keep arriving at the minimum amount of space that is required in the false ceiling for the MEP clashes. Okay, Vimal. So as we showed this slide, we've already shown, Vimal, we can skip this. I think you've given a live demo already. You've given the live demo. Frequently asked questions we've been through, so you carry on. So
Okay.
some of the privacy and data security, we are right now not retaining any data at all. The data, as you saw, is just mathematical data that is going to the cloud, getting processed and sent back. That is what we are doing. Okay, Vimal. So roadmap further ahead, we've already started work on the co-pilot for the structure design optimization. Anuj is working on that very, very intensely. We've already created a proof of concept for isolated foundation design. Very soon we'll be, sort of opening up for beta testing that for the partners. Then we intend to move on to the air conditioning design and then after that to the facade design. So these are some of the spotlight moments. We won the runners-up prize in construction technology 2025 at IIT Mumbai. We've done, we have been lucky to do, webinars like yourselves with Stepan. As of now, there is zero competition to our software. Uh, It is patent protected, and we have estimated a 500% return on investment, if a company were to adopt BAMROC. And this is also, vis-a-vis Indian salaries. So, when we talk about Middle East or the US salaries, this figure is only going to go higher and higher. Okay.
Definitely.
This is our team. So, really, thank you very much. I would say the entire team is, full of young people, young engineers in Delhi. We are all working from a very small office in Delhi, very, very closely knit team. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. What a rocket star team and so much achievement in such short time. Yeah, very exciting. Thanks for sharing. So, Anuj, we didn't hear from you. So, do you want to share a little about yourself and your role as well?
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Niknaz. I bring in around 20 years of experience. I have worked with large software companies throughout my career, but it's been an endeavor so far working with a startup with a young team. And though my domain experience so far comes from supply chain, retail, healthcare, data analytics, but yes, construction is a new word for me. That's
Nice.
it.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, AEC in construction is has been famous for not using technology. So I think it's the second least digitized industry in the world after fishing. So I'm
Wow.
curious. So what keeps you motivated and passionate about being in the AC space? With all these people being like hesitant about technology, should we invest time and money? So what is it that keeps you excited? Is it that it's the least digitized, or is it something else?
Sincerely speaking, the product that I'm working on, optimizing the foundation design, and the kind of role I possess there, that itself excites me. Because I'm learning the domain, and I'm implementing the technology. And yes, being the chief operating officer here, it's a wide role that I'm operating in. So
Yeah.
that excites me.
So
Awesome.
let me add here for Anuj and Vimal. It's been a very, very exciting journey for three of us and the entire team. So, wherever we want to explore and dig, we find that, it's a bottomless pit. There is such a huge scope for developing technology, and we find ourselves sailing into virtually a zero competition situation all around. So I think that is what is very exciting. That is what is probably giving us the kick.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that. So, do you have competitors in the space? I mean, if you don't need to say their names, but something that like at AC Plus, like people come to us and ask about new tools and solutions, and something that they're struggling with and seems to be a huge challenge is that they don't know, because they're all these great tools, they don't know where to start, what to invest in. So, what is the right one? So, can you tell us if you have other competitors and what differentiate you, as BAMROC, as Vavetek? Why should they go with you and not another solution technology that is maybe doing something not identical but similar?
So yes, Niknaz, in terms of removing clashes, as of now, there is no product that is available in the market. So there may be products in development, softwares in development, but as of now, there is no software which is available for a customer to buy the software and run it. We are, thankfully the only ones. However, there are softwares and platforms available for clash management, clash detection, largely still depending on a system of collaborating, coordinating, iterating through meetings, through discussions, through management. So, those are the systems that are available. Those are also very effective. I would not say that they are not effective, but they are time consuming and resource consuming. So what we are trying to do is that, let me also say here that we cannot, no software can ever compete with human creativity and human intelligence. So any amount of artificial intelligence or software algorithms that we create are meant to help the human to avoid the repetitive tasks, to avoid the mundane tasks, so that the human being can focus on the creative side. So there would always be situations where these clashes are so complicated in places that you do need experts to intervene. However, that is not what we are trying to do. We are trying to solve 80% or 85% of the situations, so that the human expertise can focus on those balanced 15%, which is where the real expertise is needed. And yes, that is the whole idea, that be the AI co-pilots.
Wonderful. That's great. And your timing is perfect because, now with AI being everywhere, with like, I don't know, here in the US now, insurance companies are encouraging AEC firms to use AI so they offer them discounts. So everyone is asking for that and everyone is exploring how to use it. And they're asking all these questions, all different size AEC firms, like from a small size, from a 2-person architecture firm, from like huge construction firms, they are asking these questions. How can we adopt AI? How can we adopt this tool? So your timing is perfect. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for building BAMROC. Industry definitely needs that, needs to be optimized. So yeah, and thanks for your time. Thanks to our audience for their time. We would love to have another, catch-up call with you all, maybe in a couple months, another demo, and keep learning about your progress. And for our audience, please get in touch with them. Go to Vavetek website, request demos, and start adopting more great technologies for our workflows.
Thank you so much, Niklas. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Very, very thank you, Niknaz.
Of
Thank
course.
you,
Pleasure.
Niknaz.
It was a
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great night.